Well, it's been an incredible 2 days here at IPBC Asia 2016 in Shanghai, with the editorial team joining me now to wrap up what has been an extraordinary couple of days, Joff, because as we saw, and as you saw as editor of IAM, there's so much news coming from this event this year.
Absolutely, and for me the big news is that Asia is now where it's all happening in intellectual property. We've seen over the last 2 days a marketplace really on fire, I think, in a way that you're just not seeing in the US and even in Europe at the moment. And for me, as an editor of IAM, it's a very, very exciting time.
But what's the underlying trend that's brought this about?
I think what's happening in Asia is that Asian companies and also Asian governments are beginning to understand that actually IP is a real driver of growth. Economic growth, it brings shareholder value, it creates jobs, and it means that you can develop your economy in a way that is sustainable over the longer term.
Now, Jacob, a number of those IP players here in Asia were honoured last night at the IPBC Asia Industry Awards.
Yeah, that's right. As always, we honoured the companies that we've identified as an editorial team as Asian companies that really put IP at the heart of their business strategy. And that's a group that this year has grown to 62 companies. What we did a little differently this year was then we also gave out awards to a select few companies in 10 categories for different industry sectors. And these are the teams that I think it's plain to see over the last year have added a lot of value to their companies, and they merit special recognition.
Who are they?
Well, we gave an award for the Individual of the Year to Jason Ding of Huawei. He's been at the top of the IP function there for about a decade, and it's one of the most advanced Chinese companies. We gave a Team of the Year award to the team at Foxconn, Hanhai Group. Always been one of the best in the business, and this year they certainly have a lot on their plate with the acquisition of Sharp's patent portfolio. And finally, we did an award for the Deal of the Year, which we gave jointly to Xiaomi and Microsoft. They did a broad collaboration agreement that we heard all about yesterday in the sessions.
And meantime, Bing, obviously, as we're building up to IPBC China in Beijing in late April, there are other deals that are going to be talked about over the next 6 months.
Yeah, before that, I want to say, just to add to what Jake just mentioned, I'm really pleased for this IPBC Asia. We have all the Chinese companies who are in the Asia IP Elite attended the event and attended the gala dinner. So, like 10 of the Chinese companies, they're all at the award last night, which is historical, and it's the first time. And also we have a lot of new Chinese corporate speakers for this event as well. I think this laid a good foundation for our IPBC China coming up next April. And then go back to your question, and I think we will continue the theme of IPBC, which is the maximizing value of corporate IP. That's still very important, because I think that's one thing the Chinese companies are now trying to be better with, and that's the reason they think IPBC is a good platform. And of course, apart from that, we will continue to talking about litigation in two ways: litigation in China, and also the Chinese companies that are facing lawsuit litigation in foreign jurisdictions. So we will have a lot of interesting program and speakers come to Beijing IPBC China next April.
Yes, and indeed there'll be so much to talk about at all of the IPBC events next year, because Richard Lloyd being based in the US, obviously you're at the heart of some of the biggest uncertainty in the IP market at the moment.
Yeah, and lots of chat, Mark, about what President-elect Trump might mean for IP owners in the US and beyond. And the simple answer is, we don't yet know. But that said, the general expectation and certainly the hope is that he will be better for IP owners, lead to stronger protection of IP rights in the US. And that's an indication of what he's been saying on tax policy, what he's been saying in trade policy, and some of the appointments he's made to his cabinet.
We look forward to more discussion on all of these points. We're obviously not going to finish those conversations tonight, but many opportunities for you to take part. There's IPBC India happening on the 28th of February in Mumbai, IPBC Southeast Asia in Singapore, March the 3rd, and then further IPBC events in Beijing, also in Korea, in April. And they're all building up to IPBC Global, the 10th edition in Ottawa from the 18th to the 20th of June. On behalf of the IAM team, I'm Mark Laudi, wishing you a pleasant evening, and see you again at the next IPBC.